Hello, and welcome to another episode of Think Blue, Activate's news update show. My name is Asipelele Shabalala.
And I'm Marie Joan DeWitt. Let's take a look at international stories. The United States Secretary of State Rex Tillerson has said that the US would like a dialogue with North Korea, but only as a negotiation towards denuclearization. His statement comes just days after Pyongyang tested its second intercontinental ballistic missile, prompting a show of military force from both the US and South Korea. Tillerson repeated that Washington wanted to use peaceful pressure to persuade the North Korean state to give up its missile and nuclear weapons programs. The Trump administration has repeatedly said that all options, including military action, are on the table when it comes to dealing with North Korea, but a diplomatic solution is favored given the potential for massive casualties in South Korea and Japan, as well as among US troops stationed in the area if Pyongyang retaliates.
The Kremlin has accused the US of issuing conflicting statements regarding new sanctions on Russia. Donald Trump has said he intends to sign the new sanctions into law, apparently unfazed by further damaging ties with Moscow. But his Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, has said the president does not believe the measures would be helpful to their efforts for diplomacy. Ties between the two nations have been strained by alleged meddling of Russia in the US elections. The sanctions, which also target Iran and North Korea, seek to punish Moscow for its involvement, as well as its presence in the Ukraine and Syria. Mr. Putin has repeatedly denied the conclusions of the US intelligence agencies that Moscow interfered in US elections using cyber warfare methods.
After 2 years of conflict in Yemen, the country now finds itself in a great humanitarian crisis. Fighting between a Saudi-led coalition and Houthi rebels has caused food shortages and widespread internal displacement in Yemen. More than 10,000 people have been killed since the war began in March 2015, and millions of others displaced. Malnutrition due to famine has been seen to substantially reduce children's immune systems, leaving them at least 3 times more likely to die if they contract cholera. The charity Save the Children says new analysis of district-level data reveals there are more than 1 million acutely malnourished children under the age of 5 living in areas with high levels of infection.
Let's look now at national news. Stephen Makau, a South African held hostage in Mali, has been released after 5 years of captivity. The International Relations and Cooperation Minister, Maite Nkonyana Mashabane, announced Makau's release on Thursday, the 3rd of August 2017. This comes after Makau's abduction in November of 2011 at a hostel in Timbuktu. He was being held by the Islamist militant group Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, or the AQIM, with Swedish national Johan Gustafsson, who was released in June of 2017. Nkonyana Mashabane commented that the South African government was appalled by the abduction of South African citizens.
Construction on the third phase of the District 6 housing development will commence the week of the 7th of August, according to the Minister of Land Reform, Gugile Nkwinti. Residents of the District 6 were forcibly removed following the Group Areas Act of 1966 by the apartheid government at the time. The first 2 phases included the construction and placement of 24 and 115 housing units, respectively. Nkwinti further elaborated by saying that would be the best news for this Christmas, that all the old people are back in District 6.
And now we move on to local news. Rose University held a Transformation Summit from the 28th to the 30th of July.
Transformation Summit is very important. We really have an opportunity collectively to rethink and reimagine.
The summit was focused on how best to proceed with the issues of making the institution more accessible for all students, decolonization, and the financial crisis facing the institution. The event was well attended by most stakeholders, with the exception of the university's students. This has been attributed to poor communication and a lack of faith in the institution to transform.
The Rhodes University SRC election campaigning period commenced on Wednesday the 2nd of August. A large pool of candidates is vying for the 15 portfolios and hall representative post that make up student government this year. The Grazzle will take place on the 8th of August with a separate presidential Grazzle and debate on the 9th. Electronic voting for oppidans will begin on the 10th, with residents voting occurring on the 15th and 16th. The results of the election will be released on the 17th of August.
On Monday, the 31st of July, a program of compulsory substance abuse talks was started in residences. However, the program was cancelled after the first talk received negative reviews. The presentation was led by peer educators and endorsed by the university and HE-Aids. Manager of the Rhodes Student Bureau, Desiree Wicks, stated that the substance abuse talks had been an initiative of the Office of the Director of Student Affairs. Wicks declared on Tuesday that the talks had been cancelled until further notice. Reportedly, some students felt the presentation to be a waste of time, and further complaints were that the talk included phrasing which was insensitive to issues of sexual assault and rape. Judith Reynolds, a lecturer and a coordinator of the Humanities Extended Studies program, said she felt the facilitators needed more careful training.
That's all we have time for this week. For more stories and many more, find us on our social media via the links below and visit our website, activateonline.co.za.
Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and remember, think Activate, think Blue.
Thanks for watching.